Hey everybody, what's up? Fred McKinnon here with eComCatalyst. I want to talk a little more today about AWD, Amazon Warehousing and Distribution. I'm really grateful for everyone who's been subscribing to this channel and following, getting a lot of inquiries and consults specifically around AWD. So a lot of you reached out and said, man, keep it up with the AWD content. So seem to have found a bit of a niche here. But as you know, if you follow this channel, I very much aggressively endorsed and pushed AWD last year, Amazon Warehousing and Distribution. Now, if you're new to Amazon as a seller or to this channel and you're not quite familiar with what that is, a real quick summary is that AWD is, again, it stands for Amazon Warehousing and Distribution. This is Amazon's solution for bulk storage. It's a way that instead of sending your product from your warehouse or from your supplier directly into FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, which is their fulfillment warehouses, you can send it in larger quantity, or you can send it in bulk storage, reserve storage, into big warehouses that Amazon has currently on the East Coast, West Coast, and Central to store your inventory there. And then it's a much cheaper storage rate. It's more economical to be there. They don't fulfill orders from there, but what they will do is they will drip inventory from their replenishment into the fulfillment network, into FBA warehouses. And it's a great solution if you're paying a lot of inbound placement fees, or you're dealing with low inventory level fees, long-term storage fees, things like this. This is a way to get around all of that. I just really fully endorsed it last year in the summer of 2024, and it was very heavily adopted going into Q4. And as you'll see in the video that I mentioned above, you can kind of see it here in the corner of the video. I'll link up there to it where you can click on it and watch it later, like right click on that thing or something and open a new tab to watch after this video, where I kind of said where there was this epic failure in Q4 with Amazon and AWD. That, behind the scenes, they've acknowledged. Nevertheless, we're still using it. We still think it's definitely something that you can use. And I had someone on the YouTube channel ask a comment earlier this week about, hey, how long is it taking now, for information to get into AWD? And then how long is it taking for inventory that ships from AWD into FBA? How long does it take for that to happen? And so I couldn't really answer the question, how long does it take to get into AWD? Because I haven't had any shipments since like November or something like that. Now, I do have a full truckload, not a full truckload, but a fairly large shipment that left my 3PL in California about a week and a half ago, and it's due to be delivered to the East Coast AWD warehouse in Maryland on Monday. So I'm actually recording this on a Saturday. So in a couple of days from now, that's set to be delivered. But that transit time took over a week because it had to come from California. And unfortunately, I shipped from my 3PL in California to AWD, and I wanted to ship it to the West Coast in AWD, but the West, North, and Central was available. So I think those AWD locations are still maxed out. I'm seeing a lot of people say that, hey, no matter what, it always forces me to the Maryland, United States, East Coast AWD warehouse. That speaks to me that those West Coast and Central are just at capacity, they're full. So we'll see how long that one takes to get checked in. But I do have inventory at AWD that is constantly being dripped into FBA. And so the commenter said, how long is it taking to get checked into AWD? I don't really know. I'll find out next week. But then I can address how long is it taking now that we're kind of through the Q4 rush? How long is it taking to get from AWD into FBA? So without any further ado, I'm going to share some live screenshots of some AWD to FBA shipments in my account, and we can look at it together and try to figure that out. So here's some I have. These always stand out by the FBA ASDN. And you see lots of these, and they're usually small quantities. Like this product comes in a master carton of eight units in one box. So they're really just shipping one box here. They're only shipping one box here. They're shipping 4 boxes here, 3 boxes here, and so forth. You get down to a little like 200 here in this. Notice this is FBA STA. So that's an FBA shipment that we actually shipped ourselves of our own product directly into FBA. But all of these that say ASDN, these are shipments that are leaving the AWD facility and going directly into an Amazon warehouse. So let's kind of click on this top one. It's sorted right now by last updated. So this one was just created on January 31. It's marked as shipped, so that one's still out to lunch, so to speak. But here's one that gives you some good visibility into what's been happening in January after the new year. This one is closed now, so it was one case of 8 units, one SKU, and it was created on January 3rd, but wasn't fully updated and closed out till January 31. So we'll take a look at that one here together, and let's just see what we can figure out. Okay, so on this one, you can see that let's move my little head over here. How about that? We can see the shipment was created on January 3rd, and it was shipping from Hesperia, IUSP. IUSP, that is the AWD warehouse on the West Coast. And it was shipping pretty close to VGT2, which is the FBA warehouse in Las Vegas. One SKU, 8 units in a box, all right? Shipment created here, and then on the 4th, it was created. It was in transit. Looks like it was sent and delivered around the same time. It took 3 days to get checked in, and it was actually received the same day it was checked in. So despite the fact that this didn't close until January 31, which is normal after all the units are received for there to be a delay before the thing is fully closed. We can expand this and get a little bit into some of, the details, see tracking details on this one. Because it was LTL, we don't really see that as far as the movement of it. But we see that it was created on the 4th at 9 o'clock at night. So it left on the 3rd at 9 o'clock at night. And so it left at January the 4th here at 4:57 p.m. And it was checked in the warehouse on January 7th and received. Now, one thing I'll say is that in this case, it's LTL and it's one box of 8 units. Obviously, Amazon did not take my one box and put it on a pallet and ship it on a pallet by itself. All of this is going on their trucks from facility to facility. I'm confident that they didn't stick one box of 8 units on a pallet and wrap it and label it and stick it on a truck, okay? I'm sure all of this was consolidated with all of their other shipments. All right, let's take a look at some of the other shipments here. So that one looked pretty good. I'll get out of there and let's come back here to this one. This one's currently in transit. Here's one that was created on January 16th and closed on January 31 to SWF2. Another one where there's 8 units. All right, so we can take a look at this one to get a little more visibility. Okay, on this one shipped from IUSL, which is in Maryland. That is the East Coast AWD facility. And currently that seems to be where everybody's shipments inbound to AWD are being received. All right. And it went to just down the road to SWF2, which is the Hopewell Junction, New York. So from Maryland to New York, you would think that would take 1 to 2 days to get there. Shipment was created. It's odd how they always say 8:49 p.m. Shipment created on January 16th and in transit on January the 17th. Delivered but not checked in until January 27th. So there's a 10-day gap here from when this shipment was created to when it was checked in, and it was actually checked in to Memphis, Tennessee. Now that's interesting to me considering that it said it was going to SWF2. I'm catching this live as I'm recording this video, so that's a surprise to me. Clearly they redirected it. Why? They initially intended it for New York. Maybe they got to New York and it was full and they redirected it to Memphis. Who knows? Let's take a look at these tracking details, which is not going to really help show us anything. We see that there was an appointment on the 27th. And if I look here at tracking events, when it's, part of that, they're just not going to show us any real details or anything. But it looks like this wound up in Memphis and then started getting transshipped all the way to Tallahassee. So in this case, we have a shipment that left Maryland, AWD, intended for New York, all right? But it seems to appear from the movement that it actually landed on January 27th in Memphis and then Tallahassee, Florida. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. What happened with that? Very interesting, right? So who knows? I can't even tell you what happened with that one. That one's quite interesting. So, but let's say that one took 10 days, 10 to 11 days, all right, for that one case. Coming back over here to shipments, we'll get out of that one. And here's one where there were 3 cases, actually, 24 units, and we're short one. So let's click on this one. And right away, we'll just this one shipped from California, AWD, IUSP, and went to Las Vegas, Henderson, Nevada, LES1, one SKU, still 24 units. So that would have been 3 of my master cartons of 8. This one was created on the 6th, again, around 8:40 p.m. at night. Looks like on the 9th, it started moving, got checked in on the 10th to California, and received on the 11th. Did not close until a month and a half later on January 31 with a discrepancy. So, that's the situation. And here's where we can see where they've, we could see here at this point where all of these warehouses here are warehouses that those 24 units have been transshipped to. So regardless of where they originally ended up, they got sent to Richmond, Virginia, Ohio. They got transshipped all across the country. One thing that is a bit of a puzzle to me is how it says it's shipped to LES1, but then when you get into the tracking details, you see it checked in Oakley, California. I'm going to reach out to my AWD rep just to ask that question, to say, hey, what's up with that? It's not a problem, but I'm curious how that happens. But anyway, one thing to say for sure is that when you look at this, you can't just determine that, like if it says that it left on the 3rd and it closed on the 31st, that it took that long for all your units to be available. Many times the units are available much sooner than that. So you can see that on these different shipments and everything that we have been looking at all the way down, the page. This one, however, was created on the 25th, so just last week, still in transit. This one is receiving. So this one was sent on the 25th. And last updated on the 29th is in receiving mode, but it's already received all 8. It's not closed out yet, but all 8 of my units are already received and likely they're available. Let's look at that one for greater detail here. Okay, so that one shipped from the West Coast and Hesperia, California. That's the West Coast AWD. And it says it was shipped to Phoenix. Let's see what happens on this one. I know it's checked in Pasco, Washington. So this whole ship to isn't making sense to me. There's something here that I honestly don't know what's going on. It says ship to here, but it actually gets checked in a totally different state in Washington. But it only took about 3 days. The 26th is when that shipment left. It was checked in Washington on the 29th of January, and they received 8 of 8 units within about 6 minutes. So very quickly of checking that shipment in, they scanned it in. I immediately had 8 of 8 units available, but they're still not Prime eligible yet, 0 of 8 units. Let's see why. It's because they're transshipping those units now from Pasco, Washington into Houston, Texas, Goodyear, Arizona, and Stockton, California. And, I'm just making this video I'm recording right now on Saturday morning, February the 1st. So this is 2 days later. So once these arrive where they're supposed to arrive, they'll be Prime eligible and they'll likely close out this a week or 2 after. So that's kind of what's going on. It's really not any further delays than if you were to ship into FBA directly. So I don't know that you're saving time by having AWD go to FBA. Seems like those turnaround times are no different than if you ship directly to FBA yourself. I'm not necessarily seeing where Amazon's getting any priority or preference with their transshipping from AWD into FBA, but then again, you saw where as soon as it checked in, 8 minutes later, all 8 units were scanned in as received in full. So that's what's going on with it. I hope this helped. Kind of a live bird's eye view into some of the AWD to FBA shipments happening on my own personal account. And hey, if it's helpful, drop a comment, let me know. I really appreciate it. To wrap up, if you're new to this channel, my name's Fred. I'm the owner of eComCatalyst at eComCatalyst.com. We're a full service Amazon marketing agency, e-commerce marketing agency. So I've been a seller for over 20 years, over $100 million in revenue that I've sold on my own accounts or managed through client accounts. Still very involved as a seller, but also managing dozens of Amazon brands for clients. If you need help with that, with your logistics, with your SEO, your PPC, that's what we do. We'd love to talk to you. You can visit eComCatalyst.com and, sign up for a consultation. You can join our email list as well. I'd love to see you there. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. That way you get notified anytime big old valuable value bomb videos like this pop out. We'd love to have you. So thanks a lot. Look forward to seeing you soon.